What's going on YouTube? This is Aaron here with Day 5 Fish Tanks, just bringing you another video. This video is going to be a little bit different. This is going to be a mod video. I'm modifying my FX5 filter. What had happened was a couple weeks ago I had noticed that on the tubing around it that comes with it, give you this kind of cheap ribbed tubing that comes with the FX5. Anyways, I noticed some stress marks on it. And so I was worried because my daughter climbs in and out of the furniture. I was worried that she was gonna lean on it for support or something like that and snap the or break the hose. And so I went ahead and decided instead of paying $20 for another thing of that cheap tubing that makes that terrible gurgling noise every once in a while, I was going to go ahead and invest in some nice high quality pond tubing. And so went ahead and ordered that from Dr. Foster's and Smith. And then what happened was I set it up and I thought I had everything, all the details squared away. But something that I hadn't thought about was this right here. If you'll notice, the FX5, that ribbed tubing, the thing that makes it work is that it fits really well right into this little groove that they give you, this little clamp that they give you. Well, this larger, heavier duty tubing doesn't do that. And in fact, I was actually kind of worried that it would actually kind of kink off a little bit, and it's kind of sort of a little bit. But what it is doing though is it's not very flexible. It's not near as flexible as the rib tubing is, and so it's pulling the filter intake off of the suction cups in the back. And so, and then you can kind of see it down at the other end too. It's kind of flattening out quite a bit as well, kind of kinking off there. And so that's what I don't want. And so I decided today that I was going to, my wife's out of town for the next 4 days, and instead of making a mess while she's here, I figured I'd do this while she's gone. But I decided I was going to go ahead and fix this problem while she's gone. Kind of impressed with myself. I can't say that, that's a little arrogant, but kind of proud of myself. I feel like I've stepped up my game as far as my hobby goes. This is the first time I've done any kind of a plumbing modification on any of my equipment for the hobby. Oh yeah, by the way, just so you know, the reason why the filter sits on the outside of the tank is because underneath I have this obnoxious little center brace on the stand. Definitely not going to take it out because I don't want the stand to break. But I have that center brace on the stand that makes it to where I can't fit the filter underneath it. So I have some kind of like a little piece of furniture that kind of goes over it, makes like a little table over the top of it to hide it, and then I set my recliner right next to it. Yeah, this unfortunately doesn't fit underneath the tank like I had originally hoped it would. But I had this on a 120 gallon tank, and then when I downgraded to the 75, I kept the FX5. But so I have to make do with what I got. Can't fit it under the tank, but it works out all right off to the side. Anyways, so I'll go ahead and show you what I'm going to do to fix this little problem. What I did is I went to the hardware store and picked up a couple of these elbows, these little PVC elbows. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut a piece of tubing that'll fit right between the two of them, and then it'll connect the two tubes, and then I'll just attach the tubes on either side to drop down, and it should still fit into that clamp to some degree. At least some point of it should fit in that clamp, so I can clamp it in place, and then everything should be working just fine like it is. If I need to, if I absolutely need to, which I doubt I will, but if I absolutely need to, I've got some silicone too to help make sure that it's a watertight seal. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and get started, and I'll show you guys how it turns out. Okay, so here's the finished product of the two pieces. Now I'm going to go ahead and try and get them onto the tank, and we'll see how they do, and I'll show you the finished product of how it all looks when I'm done, provided everything turns out okay. So Stay tuned. Okay, so this is what it looks like before I put it back in the tank, and it comes down to the hose connector, but I'm going to put it on the tank and I'll show you guys what it looks like when I put it on. There you go, YouTube. There's the second modification. Had to go through and make sure everything was watertight, but everything's doing good, and yeah, I'm really happy with how this turned out. I feel like I've stepped up my game a little bit in my fish keeping hobby. This is the first time I've done any kind of a plumbing modification. So yeah, thanks for checking it out, and we'll catch you later.